Let me tell you how I learned the hard way that sometimes the loudest person in the room is just bluffing, and the only thing standing between your peace and their power trip is a little bit of paperwork and a whole lot of stubbornness. You ever wake up one morning fishing rod in hand? Nothing on your mind except whether the bass are biting, and by lunchtime you're public enemy number one in your own neighborhood? Yeah, that happened. 6:30 a.m. I'm headed down to the lake behind my house. The mist is rolling, birds are singing, the world is peaceful, and there she is. Heather Collins, standing smack in my driveway like she's about to conduct traffic at the Super Bowl reflective badge pinned to her blazer clipboard clutched like it's got launch codes. "Excuse me, sir," she says. And you know that tone. The one folks use right before they tell you your mailbox is an inch too wide or your grass is 2 shades too green. I'm Heather Collins, president of the Lakeside Homeowners Association, and I need to inform you this is private property. She waves her clipboard like she expects me to vanish in a puff of smoke. Really? That's the hill she wants to die on. I look at her badge, plastics all scratched corners, bent print, faded to the point where I can just make out the expiration date from 2 years ago. Ma'am, this badge expired before half these houses were built. She snatches it back like I insulted her mother, then starts scribbling on her clipboard, muttering about unauthorized lake access and violations I swear she's inventing on the spot. She rips off a yellow citation, tries to hand it to me, but I'm already pulling out my phone and hitting record. She tells me since I'm not on the membership roster, I owe $50 a day to fish the lake on my own property. Now I almost laugh, except I'm gripping my fishing line so tight I can feel it cutting my palm. 10 minutes later, a locksmith truck and a tow truck roll up. Heather, in her infinite wisdom, called them to tow my car, blocking HOA emergency access. The locksmith gets out, looks around, and asks if this is my driveway. I point to the metal stakes that mark my property. Both guys pack up and leave before Heather can get another word out. Meanwhile, Sophie Clark, good neighbor, real sweet, never too nosy, is watching from her porch, coffee mug in hand, eyebrows somewhere near her hairline. George Miller across the street, the guy who irons his grass, is nodding along like Heather's making sense. She storms off, clipboard under her arm, swearing there'll be a meeting to vote on enforcement for repeat violators. That should have been the end of it. But when someone's drunk on fake authority, they don't sober up easy. Next day, Heather gets creative. She digs up my personal info, calls my tackle shop, the business I poured my soul into after my wife passed, and tells customers I'm under investigation for environmental violations. 3 regulars leave without a word. Orders get canceled. It feels personal because it is. I bought this land for peace. The kind of peace you only find on still water with your father at dawn or after losing someone you love and city noise starts sounding like grief. Out here, the silence lets you breathe again. But that peace turns into a target when folks like Heather decide rules are just tools for control. Then comes the forum posts. Heather uploads evidence of trash and damage on the lakeshore, except when I run the metadata, her photos were taken weeks before I even fished there from the opposite bank. That's not confusion. That's premeditated. That's when Mark Lewis calls. We went to college together. Now he's a real estate lawyer. Daniel, he says, you didn't just buy lake access at auction. You bought the whole parcel, lake and all. That's news to me, but it makes sense. The legal description was a nightmare. Suddenly, I'm the actual owner of the lake that Heather claims to rule, but she's got the neighbors spooked. George corners me at the grocery store, tries to mediate. Why not just pay the fee and join the association? He says, real earnest, like it's about community spirit and not extortion. George, have you ever seen an actual HOA document? Anything official? He goes blank, then shrugs. Heather handles that stuff. The evening before the community meeting, the air feels charged like the storm's about to break. At the meeting, Heather's got her command center set up, poster boards, laptop, a fresh stack of official documents. She accuses me, points her finger for everyone to see, claims I'm destroying the ecosystem, brings up photos of trash and illegal fire rings. That's when I stand up and ask Heather, when were these pictures taken? She stutters. I plug my phone into the projector and start showing receipts from landscaping companies paid by the so-called lake fund photos of their trucks parked at her house, invoices for environmental work that went straight to her personal garden. The room goes dead silent. Neighbors start whispering, asking for financials, bylaws, anything to back up Heather's authority. She panics, packs up, threatens legal action, and flees like someone caught with her hand in the cookie jar. Next day, I visit the county clerk. Turns out, yes, I own every inch of the lake, every right that comes with it, water, recreation, mineral, the whole 9 yards. The documents are clear as day. When I show Sophie and a few others, their faces say it all. Shock, embarrassment, relief. But George, he slams the door, says I'm destroying community order. I walk out to my truck and there's Heather leaning against it, phone in hand, eyes wild. You're intimidating residents now, she accuses, threatening restraining orders. But now I'm documenting everything cameras catch, landscaping supplies supposedly bought for habitat restoration being delivered to her backyard in the dead of night. I post my findings on the forum. The neighborhood erupts. Half accuse me of privatizing resources, others demand to see receipts. Sophie comes forward with contractor records showing Heather's been running this scam for years, funneling community funds into her garden under the guise of environmental protection. But Heather isn't done. She calls an emergency mediation at George's house, papers in hand, and tries to set ground rules for productive dialogue. I drop the county documents on the table. I own the lake, I tell the room. Show me the HOA paperwork, the bylaws, anything. Silence. Nobody's ever seen them. That's when Heather plays her last card. She waves so-called environmental restraining papers, claiming the county banned me from my own lake for habitat protection. Overnight barricades go up. No trespassing signs, orange fencing, habitat assessment division trucks. The neighbors turn colder. Business drops off. I'm suddenly the environmental villain. But my cameras catch those same county vehicles unloading landscaping materials at Heather's house after hours. Sophie brings evidence, payment schedules, work orders, text messages between Heather and her contractor relatives bragging about milking the environmental angle. I'm ready to blow the whole thing open, but the weight of it all starts to hit. I wonder if I'm just stubborn, if I should have paid the fee and avoided the circus. But the fights become bigger than fishing. It's about standing up when you're the only one who will. Mark files a formal complaint. We end up in a county hearing, feels more courtroom than community. I present everything, auction documents, surveys, receipts, Sophie's evidence. The commissioners confirm I own the lake outright. Heather's been collecting money under false pretenses. There's never been a legally incorporated HOA, the bomb drops. Heather is banned from community positions, fined, ordered to pay restitution, required to remove every fake sign herself, and publicly apologize. Watching her out there sweating in work gloves, prying down HOA lake. Access restricted signs while I filmed for the county. Not gonna lie, it was satisfying. And poetic. Neighbors start coming around. Sophie joins the new advisory council. George, red-faced but genuine, apologizes and helps install new signs that actually welcome residents. No more authoritarian nonsense. Even the orange buoys are back this time for safety, not show. Heather, she's doing court-mandated community service, real conservation work this time, her fancy garden torn up to pay back what she took. The neighborhood finds its balance again, not perfect but honest. And me, I'm back to fishing in peace, a thermos of coffee, sometimes a friend or two for company, mist rising on the water that's finally officially mine. You ever stand up to fake authority and win? Or maybe you lost, maybe you learned something anyway. Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear if you faced your own Heather. Because trust me, there's more of them out there than you think. And the best way to beat them, shine a light, keep your receipts, and don't back down when your piece is on the line. If this hit home, hit the like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more stories that keep it real. And hey, if someone ever claims they run the place, ask to see the paperwork first.